Yep, there we go.
We are. Now
Just
we're live.
check that out. Sorry about that. Little buzzing noise. Don't know what's going on. Nonetheless, welcome in. 4-4 on goal comes to you for our first ever pregame.
That's right.
I
It's
want to
game day time.
call it it's high school game day here in beautiful Edgewood, Ohio. Thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. And as you can see, we got a crowd behind us.
Right behind us, we got the Edgewood faithful.
Yeah. So Edgewood tonight takes on Lakeside. County matchup, battle for the bridge.
That's right. You know, not the year that Edgewood has wanted to have, but it doesn't matter because rivalry games, you throw the records out the window.
That's right. Right. It is what it is. We've talked about it before. Edgewood coming into this game 2-7. Lakeside 4 and no. What is the record?
They are 4-4.
4-4 right now.
4-4 right now.
4-4.
And fighting for their playoff lives.
Yes.
And I can tell you, even after what would be considered a disappointing season to some of these Edgewood players, nothing is sweeter than breaking a playoff berth for Lakeside. That much I can promise.
Right, yes. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I think we're going to have a lot of entertainment tonight. I've heard some little birdie told me that Lakeside may be coming in off the bridge next to us, followed by ambulances and fire trucks. But I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, trying
yet.
to, it's the pageantry of it all, and
Yep.
we're
Just
kind of
checking
looking
something.
forward
You're
to
good.
it.
Go ahead, you're good.
Anyway, looking forward to it, but tonight you're going to see some guys. Tony Hall going to be taking the quarterback position for the
Sophomore
Edgewood Warriors.
quarterback.
He's a sophomore, comes in and trying to fill in the shoes of a record-breaking quarterback last year, and Zach Winchell.
Yeah, and then let's talk a little bit about Siebenick, who's really taken strides this year, and we'll bring up some graphics here in a couple moments on some stats that we haven't put. Strides this year. Last year was a big issue with turnovers for him, and he only played about half the year at quarterback. We had Sean Allgood Jr. was there for a little while at the quarterback position, but this year he's taken some great strides coming through. I think he's got 9 touchdowns on the year, but we'll find that one out here in a second.
Yeah, so Garrett Siebenick right now, 12-5. It's 12 touchdowns,
Yep,
5
12.
interceptions. He's part of that big offense this year. You've got Jay Sean Sanders. He's the rushing leader right now with right around 799, I want to say, yards is where he's sitting. But, we're not here just to talk about Lakeside. We got to talk about some of these Edgewood Warriors, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Over on the Edgewood Warriors side, we're going to talk about guys like Isaiah Harris. Isaiah Harris, who, again, not matching up quite to the year that he had last year, but, he's still going to be a huge factor in this game. One of the best wide receivers in the county for probably the past 3 years.
Yeah, I can definitely co-sign with you on that. Like you said, he hasn't had the greatest year this year, but obviously kind of working with a sophomore quarterback over there, trying to get him rolling for the next 2 years. But Isaiah Harris, anytime he's on the field, he is a threat. Whether it's downfield, short field, run game, whatever it may be, Isaiah Harris is a threat. So you got to watch out for him.
And he's playing kind of, like you just said, he's playing kind of that utility knife for this team. He's got some rushing touchdowns this year. He's thrown the ball once. That didn't go as planned, but he has, he's playing defense for him. Big time tackler, big time receiving. This is a big part of their offense. You can't talk about Edgewood offense without talking about another sophomore superstar, and that's Zeke Lucas.
Coming in hot. Yeah, downhill runner, likes to rumble, bumble, stumble down, whatever it is. He always seems to fall forward for about 5 yards or so, no matter what. So great aggressive runner, very violent runner. A lot of fun to watch him up and down this field.
Yeah, not only is he going to be doing it on the offensive side either, this is, he's second in tackles on this team. He's part of this linebacker group here at Edgewood. Zeke Lucas and Seth Enos. Those are the middle linebackers. Those are the guys doing the job in the middle.
I gotta ask, does that kid have a flash camera? What do you got right there, man? I thought that was one of the old Fuji films.
Listen, it certainly looked like it. But we're talking defense, and I think we got to talk about another guy who has really made me eat my words.
Yeah.
Like, when you talk about eating crow, I got to eat the whole bird this year because we're talking about none other than Troy Peterson, 100.5 tackles by himself, 64 solo tackles, 17 tackles for loss,
CFLs.
and 9 sacks for the defensive monster that is double nickels, Big Troy Peterson.
Yeah, nonetheless, I mean, he's turning himself into a small legend around the Edgewood County here with the numbers that man's throwing up.
You.
But yeah, I mean, that many sacks, that many tackles in the course of a 10-week period. I mean, 9-week period going into week 10 because you never know what happens tonight.
No, you don't.
But yeah, Troy Peterson, he's a
He's a senior, baby.
So last year here for Troy Peterson, and then wherever he may be going, maybe we'll find out later today. You never know.
Listen, you talk about an opus for your season. You know, he has a good season last year. He's an offensive lineman for this team, too. One of the things that Edgewood is doing more of than Lakeside for sure is they got a lot more Iron Men.
Yeah.
You know, Lakeside made a concerted effort. If you talk to Coach Buzz Edwards about getting guys who are playing one side of the ball, keeping your team fresh. You know, you look at a big man over on the Lakeside side like Sam Petros, number 52, arguably the best lineman in the county.
Yeah.
You know, could he go on defense and make a difference? Absolutely. But are you going to kind of hinder what he can do on the offensive side? You might. And that's what Coach Buzz Edwards is trying to keep from happening. So, you know, their Iron Man roster a lot more limited than Edgewood.
Right.
Edgewood, on the other hand, they got guys that they're going to make plays on both sides of the ball all game. And you really got to wonder who's in better condition, because that's going to play a part.
Yeah, it's going to be a run up and down the field tonight for both teams, both sides of the ball. It's a county matchup. It's a battle of the bridge. It's going to be, you know, you never know. Regardless of record, this is a county game. You just never know what happens.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm going to bring up a couple graphics.
Let's start talking about it, my friend.
Yeah, here we go. First one on the docket.
There it is. That's Isaiah Harris. 29 catches this year, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns. He is also the Week 5 4-4-0 and goal player of the week. We called it 2 touchdowns. He calls them 2 tutties. And that's where that term comes from. Is Isaiah Harris. 2 tutties on the season. You know, he doesn't just make a difference on the offensive side of the ball either. This is a defensive guy as well. Plays in the defensive backfield and has most of the wide receivers that are going to run into his path are going to double, think twice about catching that ball.
Yeah, Isaiah Harris, like I just talked about a couple moments ago, he's a threat on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. You just never know where it's going to go with him. He's a playmaker. He's an athlete. He might line up at quarterback tonight. You never know with him.
Listen,
you just don't.
It's the last game of the season. It's the last game actually probably Edgewood's going to play.
Yep.
So, they're going to go out there. They're going to pull out all the stops. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's senior Isaiah Harris for your Edgewood Warriors. Next one on the docket here is going to be none other than Double Nichols himself.
Big
100 and a half tackles. I thought it sounded like an auctioneer for a minute there. Total tackles on the season, 17 TFLs, 9 sacks. What else can you say? That's 1 sack a game. That's a lot. Over 10 tackles per game.
And
TFLs almost, two?
Two TFLs a
little less than 2 per game. So, I mean, like I said, he's bringing himself into a little bit of a legendary status, in my opinion, at
and
Edgewood
it's
High School.
No surprise to me. You know what? We caught all kinds of flack at the beginning of the year because, for those of you who don't know, Troy Peterson was named to our preseason all-county offensive lineman, wasn't put on the defensive line, and like I said, he has made it a whole year of I don't know if that was right.
Yep. All right, on the docket next, all the kids in the background here. Y'all want to say hi.
This is your future right here, folks.
The Warriors. Next one on the list here. Go ahead, Sam.
There it is. That's the sophomore, 108 carries, 612 yards, 4 touchdowns for the sophomore Zeke Lucas.
Yeah.
Zeke Lucas is a beast on both sides of the field, and he's also, a very heavy lifter as well. So these guys are getting it done in the gym, and it shows when he's running the ball because not very often are you going to see Zeke Lucas be taken down by one defender.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Like I said before, he's a little bit. I call him a violent runner, and that's in a nice term, so no one take that the wrong way. He likes to clap them pads. There's, nothing wrong with it. Likes to clap the pads, get downhill, and I like seeing it. He's going to let the defense know he's coming. It's not a big deal. He'll take the hit.
Absolutely.
So, see, next person on the docket, maybe.
Moving on.
Wrong one. Same one. Here we go. There it is.
There it is.
None other than the sophomore, Tony Hall. Is that correct?
Tony Hall. Yeah. That's it, man.
40 for 83, 644 yards, 6 tutties, 5 INTs, 4 touchdown game versus Orange, and he is a sophomore. So kind of, we talked about it briefly earlier. Going into that, he's learning. That's the best way we could put it. He's learning. A little bit of a different system for him.
Have you ever heard the term baptism by fire?
Yes.
Because that's really what I would call it, baptism by fire. He goes out there in his first week as a starter, throws 4 touchdowns against Orange.
Right.
You're on cloud 9, and then after that, the offense has not come in bunches. It's really been scarce. He's taken his lumps and his bumps, but it's going to make him a better quarterback. And what a way to start your career than with a victory over the crosstown rival Lakeside Dragons tonight.
Correct. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun for him. We'll see what happens. You never know. All right, next on the docket here, I think we get into a few Lakeside cats.
That's right. Nope. You can't talk about Edgewood without talking about those Lakeside Dragons. And we're going to talk about somebody who we're going to call a quiet assassin out there. And his name is Malachi Matlock, 23 receptions, 387 yards, averaging 16 yards a catch. He's got 43 yards a game, 6 touchdowns on the year, including a couple that have been kickoff returns. Malachi Matlock is one of the fastest men on the field tonight. You're going to want to keep your eyes on him at all times.
Yeah, number one, he'll be flashing. You know, he's not a flash in the pan. He's been going after it all season long. So watch him go skirting down the sidelines this evening. Watch out for the kick return. So. All right, here we go. Next one on the docket. If I can bring it up, none other than Jay Sean, the man, the bowling ball Sanders, 96 carries for 613 rushing yards, averaging 6.39 yards per attempt, averaging 102 yards per game, and I uploaded the wrong one. 4 touchdowns is not correct. That man has a 9-piece chicken nugget headed into the end zone, so I do apologize. The rest of it is correct. But nonetheless, that man.
Well, no, you got it right because that's Elijah Jefferson.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was number 6 right
Nope.
there. So let me correct myself. Thank you, Sammy. I thought I seen number 6 on his jersey. I apologize. 96 carries for 613 yards rushing, 6.39 yards per attempt, 102 yards per game, 4 tutties, and that's for Elijah Lightning
Jefferson.
Louisiana Lightning Jefferson. I'm not sure where at from Louisiana, but nonetheless, coming in first year, transferring in, what a impact.
Absolutely right as soon as he gets here. Playing part 2 of that 2-piece backfield. So let's move on to the next one,
which is probably going to be the one I talked about earlier. Nope,
that's the coaches.
Wait, hold on, let me skip that one. What do we got here? Yep,
it's going to be another. We're going to call him a quiet riot as well.
Yep.
So this is A.J. Raffle we're going to talk about here. 45 carries, 409 yards, 58 yards per game. But really where he's making the bigger impact is on defense. 51 tackles for this kid, 6 sacks, including last week a Lakeside High School record 52 defensive point game. That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you talked about earlier about a little bit of Iron Man football play. This guy here, he runs it both on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball. He does an amazing job back and forth. So good, kudos to him. That's senior Alec Raffa. And then we'll head on to the next one. I think actually, wait. No, let's see that one. There he is.
And listen, I gotta send a special kind of shout out to this kid, Garrett Siebenick. I actually just, after doing some statistics and some work behind the scenes, I found out this year has become the all-time leader in Lakeside history. In Lakeside history for passing. So 75 of 123, over 1,000 yards passing, 8 yards per attempt, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yeah, great year so far for Sieb. Kudos to him. Senior year will be taking off after this, so tonight will be his final game.
This is his final game, at least out here.
There he is. I'll make my correction. Here, let me help him out real quick. None other than the bowling ball, Jay Sean Sanders. 121 carries for 799 yards.
I love it.
6.6 yards per attempt, averaging just under 100 yards per game. And yes, you read it right, 9 tutties. That is equivalent to, well, more than 1 touchdown a game, because this is Lakeside's 9th game.
There you go.
They had West G canceled due to some unforeseen circumstances. We'll call it that right now. So, and then real quick, let me bring up that other one, Sam, of the head coaches. Because as you guys can see, the crowd is gathering behind us.
Yeah.
If I can get the right one up. Hold on, sorry.
All right. And we're going to talk about Coach Buzz Edwards. You know, he's a veteran coach in this area by this time. He's a Mount Union graduate, Eastlake North High School graduate, 4th year as a head coach. He's not the only coach on the field. Who's the other guy?
Yeah, none other than Elijah Cooper.
That's right.
Hey, what do you guys think about Elijah Cooper, the head coach for the Edgewood Warriors? Hey, the crowd behind it likes it. Hold on. Let's do that one more time. Let me bring this down real quick. One more time. What do you guys think about Elijah Cooper of the Edgewood Warriors?
So he is a first-year head coach, but he certainly has a following out here. You know, the kids are buying in.
Yeah.
It's a good year to be a Warrior. Lakeside graduate, also played football at Kent, not Akron.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Sorry,
Ron,
Coop.
remember that. That was him, not me.
That was me. Totally wrong. There's my mother and my aunt. I see ya. Sorry about that, Coop. Lakeside graduate, first-year head coach. But it should be a lot of fun.
I think we've got our crowd here.
We've got our crowd here.
Zoom in, and like I said, tonight's going to be a great night. It's going to be a tough game for the Edgewood Warriors. Right now, I think you would probably, just looking from the outside in, say that Lakeside is the favorite. Hey, you heard it here first. If the crowd has anything to say right there, it's going to be a good game tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, this is what you need to see. You need to see the youth out here supporting the game, supporting the team, and coming out for these big games. It's Battle of the Bridge. It's Ashtabula. It's let's crowd a little bit more. As you see here, there's a bunch of young guys out here, young men, young ladies. You know, if you're not going to be able to get down here, I can tell you it looks like it's going to be a capacity crowd. The lines are starting to form already. Please tune in to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. It's going to be live cast. It's senior night. It's Ashtabula football, folks.
Right. Thanks again. Right?
1, 2, 3.